What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and on this video it is going to be a trade recap on today's trade. So I decided to go for well, not today's trade, sorry. I'm gonna be recording or explaining to you guys two trades, one from yesterday and one from today. Yesterday I ended up losing and today I ended up winning, but let's go ahead and get started on yesterday's trade. Alright, so this is on Monday. Okay, I took the S&P. I went for buys. Okay, I went for S&P buys. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this right here is what S&P looked like before market open. Okay, we go to the higher time frames, right? We're obviously, well, it looks bearish on the daily time frame. We go to the 4 hour, it looks bearish as well, right? But recently, if we scale down to the lower time frames, overall we are bearish. But if we scale down to the lower time frames right here, we had a push from Asia to London even before market open as well during New York session. Okay, so my thought process was, if we take out this low, London's low, right here, then obviously we're gonna go for sales, right? So right here, my thought process was, okay, first things first is I mark out my New York high, and I also mark out my London's high, low, sorry, London's low. Whenever, let's say, New York doesn't look like this and it's just like right here, right? London, I will mark London's high and London's low. Okay, wherever it breaks up to, let's say it goes to the upside, breaking London's high, closing above London's high, then I will go for buys. Okay, that is how I trade. That is how I am going to always trade. Okay, so, but it's not a breakout. I just try to define where the market wants to go. Alright, so right here, as you guys can see, we started dumping right before market open, right? So I had one supply right here that ended up getting disrespected. Sorry, not supply, demand. I had a demand zone right here, ended up getting disrespected. So I'm like, okay, you know what? It's fine. I I'll look for another zone. All right, I decided to look at this zone right here, this big demand zone right here. Right, as you guys can see, it disrespected the zone, pushed to the upside, even taking out New York's high. As you guys can see, it barely wicked it. All right, so what happens next? Boom, you would have ended up losing this trade. All right, I did not take this trade. I took it on Russell. I took a buy on Russell, right? But yeah, this right here, if you would have entered off of break of the candle, you would have ended up losing either way. You would have went for longs. This was a nice zone. Even when this first candle or the second candle came, it rejected beautifully and went to the upside. Other than that, you would have ended up losing this trade. All right, so yeah, buys were not it yesterday. For NQ, buys were not it. Sales was yesterday as well. As on the S&P yesterday, sales were also there as well. It was just consolidating for the rest. It was just, as you guys can see, they didn't really do much. It was pretty much slow PA yesterday. Gold, I haven't touched gold at all. This is how it looks like. Complete garbage. NQ, didn't look at NQ. S&P that was my thought process, right? I did not take this trade, but this was one of the trades that I was going to take. Ended up losing. This is the trade that I did take yesterday, which is going to be right here on Russell. It's going to be the same thing on the higher time frames, right? Overall, before market open, we had a push to the upside during New York and London, and before market open, I took this trade, and I ended up losing as well. Right, reason why I took this trade right here, I had a 15-minute marked out zone, and I also had a 5-minute zone right here. These are all demand zones. Why? Because I was looking to go for buys, right? As you guys can see, this 5-minute zone got disrespected, but this 15-minute ended up hitting. I did not take Russell at that moment just because I was too busy looking at SPY. And as you guys can see here, ended up winning for a 1 to 2 RR, break of the candle. Boom. A 1 to 2 RR, right? Exactly, I think it hit an exactly 1 to 2. You would have, see. Yeah, 1 to 2. 1 to 2 RR right here on Russell for longs that did ended up winning. But I ended up taking this trade right here. As you guys can see, it created another demand zone right here. I ended up taking this for a break of the candle trade, targeting New York's recent high, and I ended up losing. There you go. Alright, I ended up losing. I was on drawdown the whole time. Basically I didn't see no green on this trade, but it is what it is. Same thing, same buys as in the S&P. I was going for buys. But yeah, other than that, the S&P didn't want to go any higher, and it is what it is, right? I was wrong on this trade, and I thought my bias was correct, but it wasn't. But as you guys can see here, I did have this 5-minute demand zone, break of the candle entry, targeting New York's recent high, and did not ended up winning. What did end up winning was this supply zone right here. Alright, this supply zone did ended up winning for sales, but I had no bias to go for sales. Yes, overall we are bearish, but at the moment during Asia, London, and New York, we did have some push to the upside, taking out this high, London's high, taking out Asia's high, and even taking out some highs over here. Okay, so I thought that we were going to continue to go even higher, but now recently we are on a bearish run. So right now we are bearish overall and at the moment as well. Right, so now let's go to my most recent trade, which is today, and let's see how this played out. Right, so I did take this trade on Russell. I mean not Russell, on ES or S&P or whatever you want to call it. Same thing. I did take out this. I did take this trade right here for a 15-minute supply zone. Right, if you go to the higher time frames, obviously we are bearish. Recently we are bearish during Asia, London. Took out London's low. During New York, we go to the 30-minute, 15-minute. I mean not 30. 15-minute and the 5-minute, right? We did close below London's low, as you guys can see right here. Push back up, tap into this 15-minute supply, and I entered pretty aggressive right here for a 1 to 2 RR. I did enter just like this for a 1 or 2 RR. If I would have left this running, I would have caught a 1 to 4. Ended up just going for a 1 or 2 RR just because I didn't want it to consolidate, but I just wanted to go for a 1 to 2 RR. Right? Ended up making around $220. And so, yeah, this was a good trade. But like I said, right, on the higher time frames we are bearish. On the 1 hour we are bearish. Right, as you guys can see here, this was yesterday. As you guys can see, we had taken out London's high, Asia's high. So I wanted to go for buys. That did not end up happening. And then once market dumped, we took out Asian's low, and as well as we went back up. But as you guys can see, we continued to go bearish, not taking out any. We didn't take out New York's high. Right, we just continue to go bearish, right, breaking lows, and right here during New York we continue to break lows as well. All right, so this was a good trade for me today. Like I said, I told you I was down on the month on TikTok. If you guys don't know about my TikTok, make sure to go follow that, link in the description. But yeah, I did tell you guys that I was down on the month, but with this trade right here, I ended up being break even or green on the month. Sorry, not break even, green on the month now. So I am back on the month, and yeah, this was a really good trade to put me back on a green month, and yeah, I'm really happy about that. So like I said, as you guys can see, we were breaking lows right here. So we took out London's, we took out Asia. We go to scale down. As you guys can see here, we took it out. So you can delete that. Once we closed below, so I knew that we were going to continue to go for sells just because we closed below London's low on the 5-minute. Came back, retested this, entered aggressively, and I caught the 1 or 2. Some people even caught the 1 or 4, right? Make sure you guys join the Discord. It is complete free. Link down below. As well, go make sure to go follow me on TikTok, and make sure you guys like and subscribe as well. But yeah, boys, this was the trade, and this was a very good trade as well. Yesterday it was pretty rough. On Friday it was rough as well. I won't be trading tomorrow, but I'll be trading on Thursday, and I'll be trading on Friday. But yeah, other than that, this was a beautiful trade. I didn't really see much anything on NQ. NQ when S&P was going down, NQ was going up. On gold, didn't really see much. I had this 5 minute zone drawn out, but it never came back to it. Um, Russell, same thing. Russell did ended up winning if you did take this trade for a break of the candle right here, but you would have only caught the 101. So yeah. But yeah, that was the trade for me today and yesterday. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.